Welcome to Book Bible, I'm Dustin, and today we're going to be taking a look at the books that I read in January. I said that one of the big things I was going to be doing this year is going to be cutting back on my reading. Well, I don't know if I would say that that is true. In fact, I actually ended up reading more books than I think I've ever read in a single month. So without further ado, let's just get going because we've got a lot of books to talk about. I'm going to start first with the audiobooks that I listened to. The first one I listened to is the BBC's production of The Hobbit. I listened to this one on the treadmill, which was fantastic because what it did is it gave my brain a really good distraction from going, oh my goodness, you're working out, what are you doing to yourself? If you've never listened to a production of The Hobbit, I would highly recommend listening to the BBC version. The voice acting is phenomenal. The music is great. In this version that I have, there's actually an interview with J.R.R. Tolkien, which is just really amazing. I've also been on a bit of a Doctor Who kick. The Doctor Who story that I listened to was Babelsphere. This one is a Fourth Doctor story read by Lalla Ward, who was a Time Lord in the actual series, which I thought was a really cool touch. This one was a really awesome commentary on like the dangers of social media. There's a world who has created this Babelsphere where everyone's thoughts are connected via a computer chip in your head. And because everyone's connected the way that they are, there's really no such thing as private thoughts. Everything is publicly broadcast, and I just thought it was a very unique story. If you're a fan of the Doctor, I would definitely recommend listening to this one. I've never listened or read or watched anything by Dan Brown, but I figured I would pick up the Da Vinci Code. I've had this audiobook just kicking around for a while, and I actually really enjoyed it. Will I read more Dan Brown? Probably not, but now I can at least understand where that hype is. The next audiobook that I picked up is a business one. It is Presence by Amy Cuddy. Amy Cuddy is a psychiatrist who has also been on a bunch of TED Talks. This one was a very great read. It talks about presence and what exactly like your body language and the things that you do, how they can hurt or hinder yourself. I listened to this one because it was actually recommended to me by one of the managers at work, and I'm glad that I listened to it. If psychiatry is something that you're interested in, or body language, this one is definitely something for you. So now let's talk about the books that I physically read. The first one that I picked up was Carrie Fisher's Shockaholic. Shockaholic is a follow-up memoir from Wishful Drinking. Carrie Fisher is a phenomenal writer. I really enjoy just the breadth of what she has to say. I loved this one because it talks a lot about her mental health. The next book that I read, and I have since lent out to somebody, was Tippi by Tippi Hedren. Tippi Hedren is probably most famously known for her role in Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Now, when I found out that she was writing this book, I was super excited, and it is such an amazing read. She's one of those people that has lived a life that you just have a hard time believing that someone actually is living. Her and her husband at the time decided that they wanted to shoot a film about lions, and they wanted to film a bunch of lions together. So they went and approached a lion trainer, and he said, so here's the deal. You can't actually throw a bunch of lions together and expect them to behave. It's just not going to happen. So what she does instead is she goes, okay, well, let's just buy a whole bunch of lions. So she actually created a big animal reserve down in California. At one point in the book, they talk about how they have like at least 127 different animals, lions and tigers and jaguars and cougars. They have 2 elephants, and it's just one of those things that you just have to read. She also talks about how she brings those animals into her house. Like they're just big giant cats. I really enjoyed this one. It was one of those hidden gems where I picked up a memoir just to find out about, her relationship with Alfred Hitchcock, which I knew already was a bit of a sordid mess. And when I got to know a lot more of her, I really appreciated her as a human being. And I think that's one of the great things about reading memoirs. So the next book that I read was Vinegar Girl by Anne Tyler. Vinegar Girl is part of the Hogarth Shakespeare collection, where they take authors and get them to retell Shakespearean stories. This one is The Taming of the Shrew, and I think that's really clever how the cover design, they have Vinegar Girl on this side and Taming the Shrew on that side. Taming the Shrew is one of my favorite Shakespeare plays. This one was really fun. It was a light, fun read. That's really all I can say about it. It didn't have a lot of, heartfelt moments. It was just a bit of light fluff. And sometimes, pick those books up. The next one I found in an antique store, Mork Mindy, a video novel. It's a video novelization of one of the episodes of Mork and Mindy, which is a fantastic TV show starring Robin Williams and Pam Dubar. They basically take an episode and turn it sort of into a comic book. You know, it didn't take me very long to read, I think 10-15 minutes, but it was just fun. I really enjoyed the TV show, and I just think that this is a really unique format of a book that we don't see these days. Now we're going to zip into my graphic novels that I read. The first one I got for my birthday was Han Solo. This is a little mini-series that Marvel put out. It's fantastic. Especially if you're a fan of Han Solo, I think you'll really enjoy it. The next one that I picked up was Monstrous Volume 1. This one was a bit of a jumble. It was like steampunk meets Art Nouveau. It was definitely a lot darker than I typically like my graphic novels to be. But I did enjoy what I read. Will I continue the series? Probably not, but we will see. Next up, I read Star Wars Wookiee World. This is a collection of the original Marvel comics from the early 70s. This one was really fun. This one I enjoyed because it has Admiral Akbar in it, who's one of my favorite characters. Obviously, with it being titled Wookiee World, we do get to see a lot more Wookiees. We go back onto Chewie's home planet. We get to see his son and the rest of his family, which made me think of the Star Wars Holiday Special. I really enjoy the old Marvel as much as I love the new Marvel Star Wars. The old Marvel is really fun, whereas the new Marvel has a bit of a more serious tone towards it. I then read She Changed Comics. This one is a really fantastic read into the role of females in the comic world. And the last graphic novel that I read was The Encyclopedia of Earth. It is the story of early Earth, and it takes a look through an indigenous perspective of storytelling. I love the art style of this one. Most of it is done in black and white with splashes of color here and there. The last thing that I read this month was Ryan North's Romeo and Juliet. This is fantastic. It is a choose-your-own-adventure Romeo and Juliet story. Anytime that somebody takes Shakespeare's work and tries to make it more accessible, I am all for. I know that Shakespeare isn't the easiest thing to digest, and a lot of people are really afraid of his writing. I'm pretty lucky that I actually enjoy it. I've lived it, performed it, got it on my arm, and this one is a fantastic jumping off point into Shakespeare's world. There is actually a through line where you can actually follow the story as it was originally told, or you can have fun with it, and there's unlockable characters in there. There's super multiple endings that are hilarious. And the thing that I think I enjoyed most about it was just the unique artwork that is in it. He actually collaborated with a whole bunch of artists in this book. Noelle Stevenson, who wrote Lumberjanes, Chip Zdarsky of Sex Criminals, and a whole bunch more. And the big appeal to this one is its readability. I mean, you can read this time and time again and just never bore of it. And that's why I saved it to last, because I think this was probably one of my favorite reads of the month. As always, from me to you, I hope your day is just tickety-boo. I'll see you soon.